Hello everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, I don't know if you guys know what a Mexican standoff is, but that's the situation I've been in for the last couple days with Hessler Worldwide. You know, the knife gig people. For those of you just tuning in, essentially I worked as a knife salesman or product demonstrator, and it was on a draw basis, which meant I was supposed to be getting paid each week, and then they would deduct it from my earnings. But then over the last couple weeks, because I hadn't been making sales, because the stores they stuck me in were just horrendous, they stopped making payments, or they would only pay partial payments. And of course, they got me upset because, like, for 1 week, one whole week, 40 plus hours of work, they only paid me, let's see, I think it was like $48 for the whole week. So I contacted them and said, hey, you know, I resigned if you can't honor your word. And it got nasty, basically. Long story short, I ended up stuck with their inventory. Because they pretty much weren't going to pay me. So I was stuck with their inventory, which was like over $12,000 worth of stuff. And they wanted it back, obviously. But I wanted my money. So Mexican standoff is basically where you have two or more parties, both like pointing a loaded gun or whatever at each other. You know, it's a situation where if you take out the other party, they can take you out. You know, it's like, let's say a person is fighting, and then, you know, the other person grabs their hand and is holding them from falling off a cliff, but can let them go and make that person drop. But the person that's hanging there has a gun that can shoot the person who's holding them. But they both want the other party dead. If the person shoots, then the other guy will automatically drop him. And if he doesn't, you know, if he lets them go, the other guy will shoot. So that was the situation that I was in with Hessler. You know, I had their knives, over $12,000 in inventory, and they had my paychecks, 3 weeks worth. Well, 2.5 weeks. So I'd been communicating with them back and forth and trying to negotiate a deal here. So it looks like it's going to go through, although it has to do with trust. I can understand they don't trust me, and I certainly don't trust them. But, you know, I think I need the knives. I mean, I need the money more than I need their knives. So we've negotiated a deal at this point. They're going to pay me the missing payment of that last previous paycheck, which is the whole thing that set it off. So they're supposed to be sending that tonight. They're going to wire it in to me tonight. And the rest, which is the other week and 2 days, plus mileage and expenses, they're supposed to be paying me on my final paycheck. Now, I don't know if I'm going to see that or not, but I'm going to go ahead and trust them on this. And when I receive the money tonight, overnight, for last week's pay, not last week, but the week before, the pay is like 2 weeks behind. So when I receive that payment, which is 1 week's of pay, then I will go ahead and release the knives back to them. And then hopefully they'll honor their promise to give me my final pay, and then this can end, what's it called, amicably, I guess, as amicably as it could be, considering the situation and all this drama that occurred simply because they didn't honor their agreement for the draw. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, a draw means, and a draw does mean this, you know, it's like a loan in advance of what you will make. But they're supposed to be paying you that to keep you working. Who the heck's going to work for 40 hours for pretty much nothing, or only $48, not 40 yet, yeah, 40 hours for nothing, or for 12 bucks or $48? Who would do that? No one would. But that's essentially what they did to me, and, you know, I stood my ground, and I quit. Because I can't work for free. Now, they did want me back previously, but I already adamantly told them I'm not going back. I don't trust them. I would have stayed. I would have stayed until they had enough people, knowing that eventually they would get rid of me, you know, because I'm not like producing as much as they want me to produce. I'm not selling as much as they want me to, and that's okay, you know. I was prepared for that. I was also prepared for this situation that may develop. Just the timing of it all was interesting because, you know, when this all occurred, I actually had the $12,000 in inventory with me. Otherwise, right now, I don't think they would pay me at all. Now, hopefully, they do honor their promise to pay me, you know, this time, even though they didn't honor it previously. But at this point, I'm ready to just end the standoff. So, if they give me the money tomorrow for last week's pay, I'll take that. And I'll just cross my fingers and hope that they pay me the rest of it as they promised. Meanwhile, tomorrow, I'll go ahead and release the knives to them. You know, lest something bad happens to the knives. Thank you all for your prayers, for tuning in, and those of you making suggestions for jobs and other tips to improve the channel. I do appreciate it. It's very important right now that this channel continues to grow, so I appreciate all of you who are continuing to run the playlist and make all the comments that you have been. It is making a difference, and hopefully it will be enough to help me survive this rough spot we're hitting. Thank you again. Take care. Have a happy Valentine's.